It was summertime, and I went out to the barn and first checked everybody's water. It's a little low, so I broke out the hose and started topping off the stock tanks. And while I was doing that, I noticed this girl showed up and went out to the paddock where her horse was. And while I was working, I just, every once in a while, I'd glance over there, and I couldn't help noticing that she seemed to be having a difficult time. She had her halter and her lead rope, and she'd approach her horse, and as soon as she got close enough to get a halter on him, he would dance away, and she was basically chasing him around the paddock, and he was playing keep away. I didn't think much of it, and I finished what I was doing, put the hose away. I was getting ready to go out and get Kelsey, and she was coming in. I guess she was pretty frustrated. She never did get that halter on her horse. And as we passed in the barn, she said, "Hey, can I ask you something?" I said, "Sure." And she said, "How do you catch your horse?" Well, nobody had ever asked me that. I didn't have a real good answer. I said, well, I'm going to go get him now. You want to come along? And she did. So I went out and went to Kelsey's paddock, and he was up on the hill with his nose in a pile of hay, his hindquarters to me. So I went just inside the gate of his paddock, and I called to him, and "Hey, Kelsey." And his head popped up out of the hay, and he looked over at us, and he came down the hill. We shook hands, by which I mean we put nose to nose and breathed each other's breath for a second. Then I took his apple out of my pocket and gave him that. I probably had a bite too. Then I held his halter up, and he stuck his nose in. I buckled him up, and we're ready to go. I said, "Girl, that's pretty much it. That's what we do." And she looked at me like I had two heads, and she said, "How did you train him to do that?" Well, I didn't have a good answer for that question either, because the truth is, I never trained him to do that. If anything, he trained me.